Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the CNFT.Tools Discord server. My name is ToolSin, and I am joined by the Space Otter Society the night before they mint. So these guys are minting tomorrow, so we've got them in for some pre-mint alpha. So if Mr. Christie, if you'd like to introduce yourself, we can start getting into the details.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. So my name is Chris. I go by Mr. Krister09 in Discord. I'm one of the co-founders of Space Otter Society, and we mint tomorrow at 12 noon UTC. So 23rd of August, 12 noon UTC is our whitelist, and then 1600 UTC is our public. So very soon.
Damn! And how much are your mints?
65 ADA.
And that's the same for both whitelist and public?
Yeah, it's the same. No difference.
Cool. And just so everybody knows, how many otters will there be?
We have a total supply of 3,750, so 3,750 total.
Okay, so yeah, a quite achievable number.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. We wanted a little bit more of the exclusive feel to the project, to the collection. So if you hold one, you know you've got something special.
No, yeah, I definitely like that. So now we got like the big important information out of the way. So like, how did you guys sort of like the team all like meet up and decide on otters?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's one we get a lot because I think we're, if we are not the first, we're one of the very few Otter projects on Cardano. And so it's actually Rarhi. He's one of our founders. He's from the UK like yourself. And he is the one who kind of started the whole concept, the whole idea, got us all together. And so his thought process behind the Otters was his whole life he's felt otters were these like lovable, playful, creatures that have a lot of fun. They don't take life too seriously. And they also have like this sense of community and togetherness. And so he felt like that resonated with him on a personal level. So he wanted to go with otters, and then kind of gave them this humanoid feel to them in terms of their, how they build a society. They have the same types of structures that humans would have, same types of problems. And so then he had this concept of the space otters, where these otters are, building something, and they're going into outer space because they've built this space program. They've built, nuclear weaponry just like humans have, and essentially they're facing nuclear war, and the planet is about to be, undergo this nuclear war. And so this particular group of otters is actually leaving and starting this voyage in outer space to escape that war.
Nice. I mean, living my dream, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's like a sad, kind of a sad beginning in terms of them, having to do this, but also like this epic adventure in front of them, which we kind of take into account with the project, as we'll talk about as we go on tonight. But actually, one of the pieces of our utility is kind of experiencing the story of the space otters, of course, with some nice rewards along the way. But that is part of kind of the experience that we're giving to our holders in the future.
Nice. So, do the space otters have a destination in mind, or is it, the final countdown style?
So it's been fun. This last week, I may as well talk about it now as one of our main things that we're doing, and it kind of leads to answer your question. We're calling these things we're doing missions, and so the space otters go on these missions, and we can do them in various ways, whether it be on Discord, Twitter, or in the future we plan to actually incorporate our staking platform into them as well. But right now we're doing them kind of Discord only. And the story of the space otters is not something that we're writing down and that you're just reading and that's it. You actually go through it, you experience it. And in the future, in the very near future, once we have our holders, it'll be something that they help to write by the way that they interact and do things together on these missions. And of course, we have rewards for top performers or the most engaged, things like that. But it's something that everyone can participate in, even if you're not like, even if you're not like one of the top people. We hope you'll still have fun. And so we actually just closed down our first mission. We called it Mission Zero. It was like the prequel to the Space Otter Society beginning. And they were actually, we had this quest essentially that you go on in the Discord, and you found out that the otters were being contacted by this kind of extraterrestrial entity. Someone was sending them these radio waves, and it had a message and a map encoded in them. And so at the end of this experience that they went through, this map was revealed to them with the message basically saying, your planet is about to be destroyed, you need to leave. And that was the last that the otters heard. And so that's kind of why they're leaving now, this particular group. And I would say to those in the room who are planning on minting tomorrow, you'll probably find out some more information right before we mint, in a hopefully fun and interesting way.
Oh, so will that be on Discord, or will that be perhaps somewhere else on like the website or something?
It'll be Discord and Twitter.
Okay, nice. So
Yeah.
obviously, if somehow you're not already following on Twitter, you should probably make sure that you are now.
Yeah. And so, it's like a
Says
fun
the guy
piece,
who's just
that
following you himself. 'Cause, like, I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, so.
no worries. Yeah, and we made this project. I know I just talked about the missions, but we have a lot of things going on too. Where if you're not one of those types of people that wants to be like fully engaged and talking in Discord, we've got tons of kind of ideas and concepts and things in the project, in the roadmap, to kind of incorporate and entice those quieter investors, the ones that just want to hold and don't really want to engage. We get that people don't like to live in Discord, so we've got a little bit of something for everybody in our roadmap. We feel, but that was kind of the fun thing that we just had going on. We had a few hundred people participating and running through those missions, and it was a lot of fun. It had a individual event and then a live event where the whole community kind of played together, essentially.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
are you gonna? So, what sort of like what's coming? Is it is there gonna be like apps for everybody to get together on, or?
No, we're going to keep it kind of in the tradition of, the CNFT space so far. And so a lot of the things will be happening on Discord and Twitter, Twitterland. And then, like I was saying before, we eventually are going to link our missions to our staking platform. And so I can kind of talk about that a little bit, because we're doing staking quite a bit differently than your traditional staking process.
Okay.
And so, and it's going to incorporate our missions in the future. So when you buy your otters, you have your otters. Every one of our otters can be staked to earn our token shells, and shells can be used to straight out of the gates. We're going to have a storefront, not a full blown marketplace, but a storefront where we're going to have NFTs and other things in our own ecosystem. Things like exclusive whitelists. Oh, hey, sorry. Hang on one second. Lana, come here. Lana, come here.
Oh, and there's the cheeky bingo.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm doing this particular AMA out in the field with my dog, and so I just had her running around, and then another doggo came running up. So
No,
we wanted to
it's
go
all
say hi,
good.
but the other one's not very friendly.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we've got our staking platform that we're having made fully customized, and you can stake your otters and earn shells, and then when you get your shells, you'll be able to use them in our storefront to buy NFTs, to buy exclusive whitelists from other partner projects. Those shells are going to be incorporated with our missions. They're also going to be incorporated with some of our partner projects in the future, but that's kind of a further way out. So we do have some partner projects that we brought in that we plan to incorporate into that platform, well into the future. And then the things about our staking that is quite a bit different is that you'll be able to list your otter on a secondary marketplace like JPEG Store. And as long as you list it above 70 ADA, and if you remember our price was 65 ADA, as long as you list it above 70 ADA, you'll actually still earn your shells, even if your NFT is listed. And then on top of that, Now she's talking. On top of that, if you're if you're if you don't claim, so you can claim your shells from our website. We'll have a claims portal set up so you can go and claim your shells, but you're not required to claim them except once every 90 days. And so if you leave your shells on your NFT and you don't claim them, you can actually sell your NFT with those tokens attached to it. So basically, you sell your NFT on JPEG Store, and maybe it has 1 or 2 months worth of staking rewards on it. Whoever buys it is going to be able to go and then claim those shells right after they buy your NFT. So it
Oh,
kind of creates
nice.
an interesting situation where, it might create like a lot of extra value for your NFT because it has 1 or 2 or 3 months worth of staking rewards attached to it, and vice versa. To be blunt, you might find someone who's not paying attention and lists their NFT, even though it has those a huge number of staking rewards on it, and then you can get a good snipe in. And I know in the space we're all about the good snipe, especially we even feel that way as the project founders. We have a lot of fun when we find a good deal, so we want to create that fun for everybody. You can always be looking for that.
So, are the shells reflected in the metadata at all?
Yes, so they are a fungible token, and they're already minted. So we gave some out as our prize for our live event. The people who kind of were the top performers or the fastest performers, we gave some shells out already, and so yeah, definitely already there.
Nice. So, what kind of activities and missions have you got planned?
I would say I can't give away too much. So we
Yeah,
had the
that's
we had
fair.
the
That's
one.
fair.
Yeah, we had the one already. I can say in general, the way that we're kind of operating them is there will be some that are individual based. There will be some that are community based, meaning you go through it like it requires cooperation or it just requires yourself. And then also set up in a way where it's done like passively. You don't have to do a whole lot. And other ones where they're set up quite actively. So the one that we just had was kind of a hybrid where it had a very active individual event where you had to go through, figure out some puzzles and some storyline and figure out the answers, and then had a active community event where everyone had to kind of work together. And the way we did this previous one, it was kind of like a game where they had to figure out nine answers, and if they got any wrong, it would change the outcome. So something that we're kind of doing is that dynamic, end basically. If they got everything right versus if they got 5 of 9 right, the ending changes. And so both teams,
Ah,
we did 2 events, and both teams actually got 8 of 9 correct. So it changed the ending a little bit from what it would otherwise have been. And if people ask in the Discord, they're like, "Wait, would it have been different if we got all 9 correct, and what would have been changed?" And I just tell them, "You'll never know," because I absolutely will never. I'll never tell them.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty awesome. So that's
yeah,
what one of many ways that the community is going to be able to influence how the story of the otters go. Yeah.
yeah. And the other piece that kind of ties into your question of how will we be doing them, we also have professions in our otters. So every otter has a profession in the metadata, and there's 5 professions, and they're all different kind of rarities throughout the Space Otter Society. And so some of the examples are like our Otternauts. They're all fun otter puns. So like our Otternauts, those are like the pilots of Space Otter Society. The Profess Otters, those are like your academics and lawyers. And then our Technotters, which are the engineers, the builders, the Explotters, which are the adventurers that go looking for habitable planets. And then we have the Ottersins, which are like the everyday citizens and the military kind of rolled into one. And those 5 professions will have specific roles in the future in certain missions. So you may need to kind of team up with certain professions if you don't have that profession, or those certain professions may have a specific task that then the whole community kind of has to work together on. If you have this one and this other person has this one, you may need to kind of communicate and kind of help each other out in the future. And this is all like optional stuff. All of the profession and mission stuff, that's all kind of optional. The really base utility is the staking and the rewards that you get from that, because you can just straight up use those shells to buy NFTs, which we feel brings a significant value back to your initial investment. You can just buy NFTs and then flip them or keep them, whatever you want to do, with those shells. And so each profession actually has its own utility as well, which is separate and unique from all the other professions. So on top of staking, on top of the missions, each profession kind of has its own thing going for it as well, which some include like exclusive raffles, some include passive income, and other things incorporated with staking.
Oh wow. So yeah, I mean, huge amounts to unpack there. Though I think you've done a fairly good job of explaining it all. I'm sure you've had plenty of practice over the weeks leading up to the mint.
Yeah, I think the joke has become I'm the official Otter spokesman, which is fine by me. I love to get up and talk about it because we're super excited about the beginning phase that we've already had. We're super excited about tomorrow, our mint, and then in the future what we're going to be able to do. And this is all on the hinge of really good high quality art. We love the art connection in the NFT space, and so just even our 2D Otters, which they're kind of like your 2D PFP. They're very high quality, really high attention to detail in the traits. We've had some 3D assets already, like our shells token, our logo, and then some other surprises, and a couple other things that we've shown the community that we've done or that we're working on. And so in the future, we do want to have a 3D animated set. That's not something we're doing right away, but we are stowing away some funds, for example, from our initial mint towards that 3D animated set, so we can kind of get to work on that and give the community some really high quality art, which of course, we'll have some fun utility to pair with it that we think will provide value, for holding.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you've got a fairly well thought out project here, to be honest, and it's kind of hard to ask you questions because you're answering a lot of them before I'm getting the chance to ask them. Um,
Sorry, I
but
guess I anticipate a little bit because I've been doing a lot of them, so I kind of know like, oh, they're going to ask about this right after. But no, that's great, my friend. Thank you.
so one thing I did want to ask is what kind of NFTs are people going to be able to purchase with their shells? Because obviously,
Yes.
there's a difference between a rug pull from last year and like a chilled Kong or a space ape or whatever.
Yeah, surprise! We're gonna put all rug pulls in the storefront. No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. So the way we're gonna do it is actually community voted. So this isn't gonna be like a full blown DAO. We don't want to deal or put that structure into our project at this time, but we're gonna do it community centered, where right after Mint, and we just kind of released a little bit of a teaser today about it. But right after Mint, there is a group that's going to form called our Space Otter Society Council, the SOS Council. The first thing they're going to do is rename themselves to whatever they want to be called. And the requirements that we know right now are that you have to hold one Otternaut profession and then some others. And we haven't released the others yet, what the other requirements are. And basically, the way that is framed in the lore is that it's like the pilot assembling his crew, and then they form this group together that then helps govern the society. And so our first members of the council are going to, we just released this today, they're going to get something special that we have planned for them. And we kind of released a teaser of what that will look like, hidden behind some smoke and mirrors, of course, and had some fun with it today. But that council, when they form, is going to vote, basically put up a proposal of what NFTs they want us to buy. And then the community as a whole will vote on that. So only the SOS Council will have the power to say, we want to put up this and that. And that's by design, because they're going to be our bigger holders. And so we know that they're with us for the long term, right? So that's why
Yeah.
we give them that a little bit of extra power. But then the whole community will have a chance to say yes or no to buying those NFTs. And we've written into our white paper a little caveat, which is the Otter team will not get in the way of those votes and what the community wants to do, unless it will totally disrupt our economy and our funding, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
if the
yeah,
community says, hey, you've got like X amount of ADA and we want to buy all space buds or whatever, that might not be a great idea, because we're going to have a certain amount of funds at the start reserved for this, not unlimited funding. And
yeah,
so over time, we'll replenish it with new NFTs. But we can't just buy like 20 space buds and call it a day, because then there's not going to be much for everyone. So the NFTs, I would say, will range in price. If people want us to sweep NFTs in the 10 to 50 range, or the 50 to 100 range, or even the few hundred range, I think that will be very reasonable for us to do, especially upfront. And then, if things really take off in the future, we'll definitely be able to put up some of those blue chips, and higher costs, NFTs for people to enjoy with their shells.
So, how are you planning on funding all the purchases of the different NFTs?
So a good portion of our initial mint is going towards it, and so that's gonna be kind of the initial wave or bolus of funding. And then we do have a 7% royalty on every NFT sold, and none of it goes to the team. So it's a little bit higher than typical at 7%, but none of it is going to the team. Half of that is going to go towards the passive income opportunity that I talked about briefly before. And then the other half of that is going to go into the treasury wallet to fund the purchase of more NFTs for shells. And if there's anything else significant that the team needs it for the project's future, it will be considered. But we kind of have those funds mostly reserved for shell acquisitions, essentially, is how we termed it.
Okay, so a thriving secondary market is good, definitely very good for sort of like the holders and sort of like the economy of the Otter Society in general.
Yeah, definitely.
So, how many of you are there on the team?
So we have three on the Otter team proper, three kind of co-founders. There's myself, there's Rarhi, and then Sponer. And then we have three moderators. Cheeky, who has popped up here briefly for a second, he was going to probably try to hype me up while my dog was yelling at the other dog. And then we have KDA and Piper, which are both the newer mods to us. They've been with us for the past few weeks. But yeah, so six in total. And then we've got two artists, our 2D artists and our 3D artist. And then we have our, we call him Mr. Robot, Mr. Roboto or Mr. Robotter. He's our kind of our bot and security guy, who is also part of the team.
Okay, so I did notice that you've chosen Ada Anvil as your minting partner.
Yes.
What I mean, as somebody in the space, I'm quite well aware of what your reasons are likely to be, but let's hear it from you, sort of like how you came to that decision versus, obviously, there are a plethora of other mint providers around these days.
There are, and there's a lot of good options to go with for minting, and a lot of them are very reasonable and very professional, and we don't begrudge any of them. We went with Ada Anvil because we talked with them, and they were the only ones who could offer us the full package of what we wanted in one place. So what I mean by that is we wanted a minting service. We wanted someone to build out our custom staking platform kind of exactly how we wanted. We wanted someone to build out our website exactly how we wanted, and a couple other things kind of in the background. And they're the ones who were able to do all of it. So we went with them because it's just, to be blunt, they have a big team of developers. Their developers are a lot of the kind of OGs in the space, from dating back to like over a year ago with like Benjamin's group and Benjamin's Club. They're really well known in the space, and they've done a lot of the innovation and technological advancements with Web3 and kind of engaging it into NFTs in a fun and interesting way. And so we felt at home with them because we can kind of go to them as a one-stop shop, and talk to their team as a whole whenever we're having an issue. So we can just kind of pop in their Discord that they have set up for us, and just say, hey, we want to do this update to the website, we want to do this update to this, and kind of talk to them that way. And it's just easier than talking to multiple people about different things, if that makes sense, kind of piecemeal. But so naturally felt natural to go with them for mint, because we were using them for those other things, and they have an excellent reputation for minting too. So easy choice for us.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. So, yeah, much more than just a minting partner then, quite unquote, just a minting partner.
Yeah, they're kind of at this point like a full partner of the project, in terms of the work that they're doing for us, and they're like super on board with the ideas. They love the roadmap and the concept, and so Even every time I like spam them with a bunch of questions or things that we need done, I'm always like, hey, sorry guys, like another laundry list for you. Their response is always something along the lines of like, oh no, like, working on Otters is always fun. We're always having a good time. So, they seem to really enjoy working with us and us them. So it's a good relationship.
Nice. So I do want to spend a little bit of time focusing on the art because I'm actually quite the fan actually. So
Okay.
can you tell me what resolution they're shipping in?
Ooh, Rarhi, you want to jump up here?
Yeah, he has
I
an
don't know if you
invite.
can make him up. Yeah, he's got his hand up. He's the art director, so he's going to know all the art questions. Put him on the spot.
Yeah, he has the invite, so it's just waiting for him to accept. I see. I think he might be about to leave you hanging here, man.
He might, yeah.
He's probably just chosen this moment to like step out and go to the toilet or something. He'll come back in like 2 minutes and be like, "Oh, why did you keep trying to invite me to speak?" So, in the meantime, can you tell me like how many different traits there
Once again, that would be a good question for him. So he's
are?
him and Sponer have been they've been kind of focusing on that piece the last couple of days, while I've been focused on the missions and the community aspect. Kind of keeping everyone engaged and talking, and letting them know what's coming up. So they've been really focused on the art side of things, much more so than I have been. So we can kind of spread load the work a little bit.
Okay, well, we'll keep it within your forte for now.
Yeah, yeah.
So, aside from like the missions and everything that you've done and tested, what other kinds of activities have you got going on a regular basis, like within Discord or on Twitter or anywhere else where you might be?
Yeah, so we regularly have kind of the typical uh, plethora of games, and stuff that we offer to our community. So right now they've mostly been centered around whitelist acquisition. So people can play like poker or smash carts or Gardic or other silly games with us, and they can try and win a whitelist spot. And we're just trying to do that to have some fun, not make it too serious. We also just reward people for hanging out in the Discord and chatting and stuff. We do have a fun thing built into the Discord, which we're utilizing in a fun and interesting way pre-mint, but then even post-mint, it's going to be more fun and interesting. And that is we have a built-in custom-made kind of casino, and it has other functions besides just typical casino functions. That was actually made by that guy I was telling you about, Mr. Roboter. His name in Discord is Selkies,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
project it's a project he runs, and basically it's like a in-house currency casino, and you can actually set it up where people can earn, they can play games, they can win coins or whatever currency you want, and then they can use that stuff for things in your Discord. And so we plan to have that basically be like, uh, we have a couple of use cases for it postmint for holders only, where they're going to be able to use some of those coins to do things like win NFTs. They're going to be able to use those coins in certain ways during missions. We're going to incorporate the casino, and so that's been a fun thing for us to develop, alongside him in the future. Pre-mint, we were kind of using it. You could actually buy a whitelist roll if you earned enough coins. So it was actually kind of a fun thing where we had some people that were actually able to save up enough to buy like the highest tier of whitelist just by engaging in our Discord and doing fun stuff with us.
Yeah, that's pretty blimmin' awesome, I have to say. Like,
Yeah, it was it was it
always
was
something going on, always like people there ready to go and chat and chill and do whatever.
Yeah, I think our project too. It seems like over the last month, it's really kind of molded into a kind of like I think I'm mostly guessing here, but just based on the types of conversations I've had and the people that I do know really well from our Discord, it's like a kind of like a middle 30s crowd for the most part, or around that age, and so a little bit more on that side of the spectrum. And not just here to say like LFG, wag me. We don't really have a lot of that going on in the Discord. It's more of that kind of like a little bit of a more mature crowd having normal conversations, and then broken up by just a bunch of like Otter gifs and stuff. When we do decide to have a good time. but yeah, it's a good place to hang out. It's been fun.
Nice. So here's a pretty dirty question, but it kind of, it bears thinking about given what's going on at the minute. Obviously, we're in a pretty bear market right now. And as much as that's true for NFTs, it's very true for ADA as well. Is there any risk to the project if the price of ADA suddenly fell to like 20 cents?
No. And that is because we are not doing anything uh, outside of the ADA realm in terms of payment. So all the partners that we are, that we have a contract with or have an agreement with for payments, we all believe in the long-term value of ADA, and so those prices are kind of locked in. And in fact, in all our negotiations and talks, the only thing that would change is if the price of ADA goes way up, then the amount of ADA we would pay, for example, would go down. But we kind of have all assumed that risk of, like none of us can predict what's going to happen in this space like a month from now, or even, for God's sakes, like a week from now. So we just agreed, this is the price in ADA. We're going to stick with that, and we're all going to kind of come to that mutual agreement for the future of the project, and our partners. We all just kind of have to believe in ADA and hold, in order to make it work. And so that's what we've done.
No, that's awesome, and it shows how far Cardano's coming, and the fact that you are able to get all these different services and keep all the payment in ADA and keep all the ADA sort of like within the ecosystem.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, to be honest with you, I was surprised. I was surprised that people are typically so eager to agree to that. But we didn't have any issues with anyone that we worked with.
Yeah, I mean, so there isn't any portion of the mint going towards supporting the founders or anything like that. Like, do you have other income, or is this like full time gig, or is this something that you're doing sort of like after hours?
So there is a small portion or a portion going to the team, for our work. In my personal opinion, I think it's quite fair for the amount of work that we've put in, the amount of hours that we've put in and everything. Um, the main founder, Rarhi, this is his full time gig. He does this 24/7 now, which is ironic because in the NFT space, it truly is 24/7. Like
Yeah,
it feels like you
yeah,
can't take any
absolutely.
time off because like it never goes away, right?
Yeah.
You kind of always pop open your computer and you're at your office. Um, but for me and Sponer, we both have our daytime jobs as well, so we kind of do it after hours. But we found a good balance where we with our other responsibilities, we've not had any issues so far. Getting everything done that we need to, and so it's been working well for us.
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of leads into another interesting question is how you guys manage the work-life balance, because obviously the CNFT space, it will keep you up for 72 hours a day. Like
Yeah,
and you still especially when you're working like a day job, having time to see family and chill out and be able to turn off, whether it's go watch a football match or go down the pub and have a beer, whatever it is you need to do, like it's important to have time away not working so you don't burn out.
yeah, I totally agree. And for this one, I can only answer for myself, not for the others. But for me personally, it's been it took a little bit to figure out the balance, but kind of have it down pretty well now. I'm a father with two kids. I have a wife, and one of my babies is actually she's only 2 months old. So I had her actually like a few weeks after we started working on this project. And so she's been kind of with me through the whole thing. I've actually done a good number of AMAs, like holding her on my lap and feeding her while I'm talking. And so for me, the balance has been, difficult initially because I had that newborn in my life, and that's always a rough transition. But now I've kind of found this cadence where, I'm a low sleep needs person. So if I sleep like 5 hours a night, I'm actually fine. So I typically wake up. I'm a morning person. I wake up, pretty early, and I work on Otters for a few hours or 2 hours before I go to my main job. And then, I'll typically I have the ability at my job to kind of pop on and do a couple things here and there. And then at night, I typically am signed off from the moment I get home until after my kids go to bed. And then I sign on and I, do whatever I can. And then once my wife is kind of settled in for the night and, she's done with all her extra stuff, then I kind of close up shop and, we spend time with each other. So it's, it's kind of consistently like that. And it is a lot of extra time and work. But I can honestly say, and even my wife sees this, and that's why she doesn't begrudge me at all when I ask, for example, for like an hour to go do something like this, and she's going to be with the two kids by herself for a little bit. I've never had so much fun working on something before in my life, and I think that sentiment is shared by the other founders and the mods as well. And so it's just been a great experience so far. And so even though the time commitment is significant, I wouldn't rather be doing anything else with that free time I have.
Yeah, sorry, I had a bug reported with the website. I was making sure that the guys are aware. So yeah, um, yeah, like yeah. Sorry, kind of got thrown off a little bit there.
No, all good.
So um, I had something in my head and it just completely it's just completely escaped me now. Um, so yeah, I mean, one thing I did want to say was that if any of the audience here have any questions, feel free to fire them into NFT chat, and I'll make sure that the team will get a chance to answer. Hopefully, we'll have one of the art guys coming up to join us shortly. I don't know. Do you want to send them a DM?
Yeah, we are. I think I don't know if he had logged off or what, but he didn't respond,
Uh,
so
uh,
not sure. But I can, but definitely I can, I can post that info up, to the Discord after, and we can put that out for everybody.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
But what I
Because
what I will say what I will say is that I have the files saved on my computer, and no matter how big I blow them up, I see zero pixelation. It's intense. I've rarely seen images of that high quality. I mean, these like little looking PFPs, and I blow them up to like maximum crazy sizes, and it still looks super clean and super high quality. It's absolutely incredible.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're shipping in a fairly decent sized resolution then. Obviously, it's hard for you to answer some of these questions. I mean, so like, what kind of input and sort of like, how did you decide about what traits you'd have, or
Yeah,
is
so
that
some
sort of
of
like
it
more
was
those guys?
Yeah, some of it would definitely be, Aaron would be the best one to ask, but some of it was based on uh, certain community inputs early on. We kind of had some ideas, from community members that we then incorporated. A lot of it was Aaron's ideas of traits he wanted to see, and a lot of it is stuff that is not typically kind of associated with, the Cardano space. He wanted to have a lot of unique traits, a lot of things that stand out that don't look, like the same kind of traits that you see in a lot of projects. And then we also incorporated over time those partnered projects I was talking about. We incorporated a collaborative trait from those projects into our collection as well, and kind of put our little own space otter theme to them. And so we have a few of those in there as well too. I think total is 7 that we have in the project.
Yeah. Sorry, again chatting about the bug. I don't know if you know, but when you submit a wallet with us, and we scan it for all the different roles on different Discord servers. You can also log into the website with Discord and see all your wallets together in one place with trait values and sort of like floor values and things like that. We've just had an issue with the trait values pop up with a whole bunch of projects. So just making sure that Brad has the information that he needs to get that solved as fast as possible. Because
Gotcha.
It's a little bit crazy. I've got Vampire Invasions here with a floor of 30,000 ADA, which, it does make me feel quite good, not going to lie. But I don't necessarily think that's quite as realistic as I'd like it to be. And there's a few
Yeah, I
other
can
people
completely
feeling the
understand.
same way.
Completely understand.
Oh dear. So, have you got any plans to have a few days off after Mint, or are you going to be frantically working on the first mission and everything?
I would say yes to both questions. So we're we've we talked about it before, and there's three of us that kind of do the primary legwork, behind the scenes, and so we can all kind of stagger a day or two, and the others can be hard at work while while we're taking that little rest, right after Mint. Yeah, because yeah, we've been it's been a grind the last like 48, 72 hours, especially, getting everything ready and making sure everything's ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of shocked me that you were willing to come on and do an AMA, sort of like, with what, 15 hours till Mint or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It shocks me too sometimes. I don't like to say no, to these opportunities though, because I feel, any chance I can get to kind of help bring someone into our world and help them become part of our community and enjoy, what we've worked on, and to, help shape the future of what we are working on. I'll always take that chance because, that's what the whole thing's about. If we didn't just make obviously we didn't just make the project for ourselves, we made it for everybody. And so, yeah, I'll take any shot I can get to kind of try and get someone hooked on the Otters.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, they are quite attractive. We have had some requests in the NFT chat saying, is there any chance of a sneak peek from something coming tomorrow?
Ooh, we'll see. We'll see. If I can convince the others to post a sneak peek, before tomorrow, maybe we will. I think that something like that could definitely be in the cards.
So have had a couple of questions from Crypto Kitty for you.
All
Um,
right.
what is your background in law creation, and did you run D&D as a younger man?
How did you know? Yes. So yeah, and I've honestly I've talked about this before too on some AMAs, and I'd like to make it clear that this project is it's art and lore and utility and community, and the staking piece is really what ties us to Web3. And that the fact that you can earn those shells and buy NFTs with them, that's what everything is kind of centered around. And then we thought, how do we have a good time around that extremely boring concept, right? Like the idea of things just sitting in your wallet and accruing other things that sit in your wallet, to accrue money. It sounds really nice, but it's not very exciting. And so we wanted to create that experience for people. And not even just in my younger years, but actually in my adult life, I do play and run games like that, like tabletop RPGs, and where you kind of create an experience for players as they go through a world or a story, and you don't know what they're going to do. You maybe know some plot points and things like that, but you never quite know, what the end is going to be, and what they're going to decide to do, and how they're going to decide to do it, and therefore, what you need to kind of do in the future. And so we've kind of created our missions around that concept of that, like loosely, built framework of a story that then, like I was saying in the beginning, the community can interact with and alter depending on how they do things. And so for the people who want that type of engagement, that type of fun, it's for sure going to be there, because that's what I have the most fun doing. I had a blast making that last mission, and watching everyone go through it. I had so much fun, talking with the people that went through it, and we even had a couple people post in the Discord like after they completed it, and they said they were people that had never spoken in our Discord before, and they said after they finished it, they said, "Hey, I just wanted to say I had a blast. I'm an introvert. I don't like talking in Discord, but I absolutely love that mission. Thanks to the team for that experience." And like that, really hit home for me, because it was like, hey, we can really give people that that fun experience. And people can engage in our projects kind of however they want to, and still get that good feeling out of it. And so, yeah, it was pretty special to hear those things. But yes, I've done that for a long time. I'm not a formal writer or anything like that, but I've just played it played games like that so much, and I really always enjoy being on the more creation side of things, and being part of the one who kind of like tells the story and gets people enticed by it and excited about it. And so thought we would bring some of that to this project, because it's not very common in the space to have things like this for people to engage with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should do yourself down as being and sort of like even just taking part in sort of like tabletop role play games and everything like that, let alone running them and being the one that's coming up with storyline and describing everything to the players so that they can take the appropriate actions for what they and their characters would like to do. It's actually something that's very highly skilled, and I think don't do yourself down for that. That's a hugely difficult skill to master.
Yeah, it
Um,
takes a lot of effort. Definitely, after you create whatever it is that you're building, it's I always feel like exhausted mentally. But then once I see people kind of experiencing it, it gives me that energy to do it the next time and the next time and the next time. It's like a clock,
yeah,
how it
yeah,
just kind
yeah.
of keeps going. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of funny actually. I mean, I've not played any tabletop games or anything like that in years. But I've got a friend of mine, and sort of like we've all known each other for a long time, and we don't get together as much as any of us would like to. Sort of like we're always busy, we're always working. It's how life is. But we've started a D&D game. And we're like a couple of sessions in now. Like he's like this one particular guy. He's the DM. He's put in so much work. Like he's been planning this for like 6 months and everything like that. And it's absolutely awesome because not only is sort of like are we getting together and going back to the old times and having fun and everything like that. He's even got his parents involved, and they're complete novices, never done anything like it before, and they're loving it as well.
Oh, that's great. Well, then it sounds like, my friend, you should definitely be minting with us tomorrow,
I,
if I can
I,
be
I
very
do
forward.
plan to. I just wish I had enough spare ADA so I could mint him one too.
Fair
Because
enough. Fair enough.
this is the thing. I mean, it's like projects like yours are very good for the space because there's good instant interaction. It's not like you're buying this now and then like in a year's time they'll have built the software to do what you want to do. Like like everything's becoming fairly soon after mint, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of things planned, shortly after Mint, and so one of the things that I didn't touch on today yet was, all the development of everything I talked about, our custom staking platform, and the storefront, and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to give an exact deadline or timeline right now, but it will be much faster than what you just described, the typical kind of course, where it's like, okay, you mint, and then a few weeks later you get an update of, okay, we just talked with the developers and they're going
Yeah.
to start working on it. And I'm not putting projects down, because we got lucky with Ada Anvil, where they're willing to work for Ada. They're willing to start doing things ahead of time. When we pitched them the idea of our project, they were like, yeah, we'll start working on that now. They didn't come back at us and say, let's wait till you mint to get that things going. And so they've already been developing it and working on it, for the past several weeks, for actually much longer than that. And so yeah, it's going to be a quicker turnaround than people are accustomed to. And certainly we're going to be incorporating another mission after mint as well, to keep that good fun vibe going in the Discord.
Definitely. And the part two of CryptoKitties questions was what was your inspiration for the core arc lore and how long has it taken you to write it all?
Or I'm sorry, the what lore?
The core arc lore, as in like the main story and.
Oh, yeah. Um, how do I can't I can't answer it without giving away a lot of details. Or at
Okay.
least or at least
Or at least the
or at least give
inspiration, I guess.
Yeah, the inspiration is, and this is going to sound like a cop out, but it's absolutely not. The inspiration, at least in my mind, the inspiration is mystery. What is going on? And so the story that the Otters have experienced so far, that our community has experienced so far, is that they've been contacted by this unknown group. This unknown group, sent this message from outer space, and they kind of took over mission control in order to, they basically like hacked mission control in order to tell the Otters this mission, and then this warning, and then it became very clear that these other beings were able to kind of communicate in real time, and they were doing some other trippy stuff with making the Otters like feel and smell and taste things that shouldn't have been possible. So, the answer to your question is, I hope that you asked what is going on right now while you were going through that mission. Like what is happening? Where's all this coming from? That is my inspiration. I love to get people kind of in that mindset of, trying to figure out where things are going, what the puzzle is, and kind of like how things will progress, and get people talking about it. So if I told you the actual inspiration, then you would kind of know the end, in terms of where it could go, and that doesn't mean it's going to go there. As any kind of story like that, things can change, depending on what you guys do. But for now, if I told you, it would give things away. So I'm not willing to do that.
So one thing I've been doing is like semi-randomly scrolling through your white paper for the YouTube recording, and I've come across a couple of titles that have caught my eye: Galaxy Stones and Solar Pearls.
Yeah, those are items that are specific to certain professions. So at the beginning, I was kind of talking about how the professions all have their own utility, and so they all have their own lore and their own backstory and history in the Space Otter Society. And the Technotters are the ones who, if you hold Technotters, you will get access to this item called Solar Pearls. And essentially, like I was saying, our NFTs have a 7% royalty on them. And so when that royalty amounts, half of it goes to an amount that then gets distributed to holders when it reaches a certain amount. And once that occurs, basically a Solar Pearl distribution will occur, and you will be able to go to our claims portal and pick up your Solar Pearls. There's only a few ways to get these. One of them is holding Technotters, that profession. And then there's a couple other ways to get them as well, but they're going to be very rare, very difficult to get. And the way that we're doing those, what we're doing with those is basically you go and claim them, and then we're going to have a like a treasury distribution, a royalty distribution raffle, where you can send in a Solar Pearl. Each pearl you send in is one entry, and you can win more than once. And so the way that we have the numbers set up, I won't bore everyone with the details, because we're going to let the community kind of vote to decide how many wallets it goes to, basically how many winners are there. We're also going to let the community decide the amount at which we do the distributions. We have some numbers in there now, but we're going to let the community decide how they want to change that. And so basically the reason we set it up this way was, a lot of times projects will say they have a passive income structure, but then you realize after you kind of look into it more, you get your first distribution, that it's been 5 or 6 months and you get like 1 ADA in your wallet, or 2 ADA. And,
Not
I'm not
naming any names here, but
no,
yeah, I've had that
I
happen. I've definitely had that happen.
I said that so negatively, but it's not like, when I get that, it doesn't make me feel like, ooh, that's awesome. So we wanted to set it up in a way where, not everyone needs to get 1 or 2 ADA. Instead, the people who want to focus on that aspect of the project, they can go after holdings that give them access to this item, and it keeps it exclusive and restricted, the amount of people that will earn it. And then the amount of ADA you'll get back will actually be quite significant, because it will only go to a certain number of people, and you can win more than once. And you have a really high chance of winning, honestly, because the amount of times, the amount of holdings that you need to get that are quite rare. So if you're part of that crew that has those, part of that profession and things like that, then you have a pretty good chance of winning at baseline. You shouldn't go definitely shouldn't go multiple iterations in a row without
Wow.
winning any of those.
Well, who knows? The
And
community could vote to say, right, well, this time it all goes to one person, and then you can like give somebody a life-changing amount of ADA.
yeah, if the community
If the
wanted to go
community
that
says
route,
that, but
yeah,
then they could equally say, okay, let's give it to five, or they could say, let's give it to 250.
exactly. And so the numbers that we had in there right now, like our kind of starting point was that there'll be 300 to 500 winners, and we'll do it whenever we have 25,000 ADA kind of in that wallet. And even if you do it to 500 holders with 25,000 ADA, everybody gets 50 who wins.
Yeah.
So each time you win, you get 50. And if you do it for 300, then everyone would get 80. So we kind of did those numbers to kind of just show people, hey, we're doing it differently because we want it to feel impactful when you actually get some ADA from this. Instead of it being like one or two, if you go after that type of utility, and again, hey, say the missions aren't for you, talking in Discord's not for you, you don't care about any of that stuff, that's totally fine with us. If you want to go after this more passive income route, you will be able to do that without engaging in any other part of the project. And so we wanted to capture those people's interest as well by kind of having this built into it.
Um.
Uh,
So this
go
might
ahead.
seem like a silly question, but given the fact that you have an incredibly well put together project here, but there's a lot of reasons to hold your otters, but a lot of the utility and like the bigger things that you've got going on relies on people selling. Obviously, there's always going to be a certain amount of buying and selling going on, but is it going to be enough to support all the even getting to 25k in royalties? Because obviously
Yeah,
that's a significant number of ADA exchanged.
it is, and that's why we're going to leave it up to the community to kind of vote, see how things are going, and how they want to change those numbers around. I'd also say, as time goes on, either way, if the floor price goes way up to the moon, there's still people that list, those high price assets, and there's still people that buy them. And even though there might be less number sold or bought, the percentage will be the same, and therefore, if it's a higher value, more will go into that wallet. So we think over the long term it will sustain, and we can always inject more funds into it if we need from other parts of the project wallet. Not all of the funding is going towards this initially, so we can always kind of splice some out for more treasury funding if needed from this mint and from future iterations that we may do.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Sort of like obviously you have like a storyline in mind, or at least a direction. Is there any plans to have a chapter two after that's finished? And
Uh,
obviously another question is how long do you expect this story arc to last for?
yeah, there are plans to have additional seasons in the future. We're not going to do anything super quickly
Yeah, yeah,
because, and I'll just use the word here because I want to be very blunt. We want people to see us, for what we're putting together, and we want people to see the level of kind of detail and professionalism and effort that's going into it. We do not want to be viewed as a cash grab. Because that is absolutely not what we're doing.
no, no, not at all.
We're and so we don't want to do a second mint too close to the first one for exactly that reason. So we're going to give it some time, but definitely we want to in the future. We have future plans that are going to need additional funding. But everything that we talked about tonight can be 100% funded by our initial proceeds. And with a padding as well. Hopefully,
Yeah.
if and when we sell out, we'll have a padding that we can then kind of hold and just stake and use those proceeds to then inject back into the community as well over time.
Yeah, Obviously, I wasn't suggesting that you go out and mint sort of like season two in like 3 months or anything like that. It's kind of why I kind of threw
No,
in
no,
the
but
how long do you expect like the first season to last? Is it going to be like a year or 18 months or 8 months or even
yeah, I
six
think it's a
months?
it's a fair question, and it's one of those things that's kind of the best way to answer is we'll see. I think we're going to have to see what the state of the market is, what the sentiment of the community is, because we can have for something like that, we can have an idea, but our idea is heavily dependent on those two big factors. You know, what's the market up to, and what's the community up to? And if the community doesn't have an appetite for it, I don't think it's something that we're going to force. Because
Oh,
to be
no.
blunt, we've seen how that goes in the past, and we wouldn't want to be in the same position. So, you know, I think it would be a kind of it depends type of answer to that question.
So going sort of like a little off base for a little bit, what brought you to sort of like crypto and Cardano in general? And you know what attracted you to NFTs in the first place?
My friends. So,
I mean,
um,
good answer, right?
yeah, yeah, no, my friends. I have a very close group of friends from, you know, just that I've grown up with, and that I've acquired over the years. And this particular group of friends has all kind of met, you know, each other, even if they didn't start out. You know, we didn't all grow up together. Some people that I met through like work or whatever. We've all kind of intermingled now and know each other well. And I was the only holdout in my group of friends that was not into crypto, and they all started diving into this, like going in super crazy. And I was like, holy crap, you guys need to get off of this chat chain with all this stuff. I don't know what language you're speaking. You know, it was like it's super intense to listen to them. And then they kept trying to get me into it, and I was pretty resistant for a while just because I had so much other stuff going on in my life. But, you know, after a while, I could see that they really, really wanted me to get into it with them. And it was coming from a place of love and friendship. And so I finally was like, all right, guys, I've got some free time. Like, tell me what I'm doing here. And they onboarded me in like a matter of minutes. It seemed like, you know, got me set up with all my stuff, and like got me on an exchange, and you know, got me some ADA and some ETH. And you know, then I was kind of playing and learning all the lingo and how to do things. And without that group of friends, I don't know how people get into crypto without a group of friends like that. Because my onboarding process was like, it was like, holy crap, guys, you should do this for a living. Like, you know, one week I didn't even know, you know, what crypto meant in all seriousness, and then like the next week I'm like buying NFTs and you know, doing that kind of degen stuff. So it was quite a quick process, but they're the ones who got me into it. And then I kind of bounced off a couple ETH communities. I just didn't feel like I was part of anything. I just felt like I was kind of like a passerby, like, you know, there to observe, and it wasn't very fun. And then they said, hey, try out a couple of these like Cardano communities. And so I did, and I just felt a bit more at home. It was like smaller and more friendly, and more my speed in terms of, you know, the types of you know, things that were going on in the projects and stuff like that. And so it was a lot more fun.
So, what was the first Cardano NFT that you minted then?
Oh, I'm trying to think now. It was, I think it was like Moonimals or Retro Sound. I can't remember which one of those two because I
Oh
think it was the
wow.
same weekend. Yeah, and I
Yeah, I
can't
mean it's
remember.
it's taking me back. Like they both ring bells, but I'm trying to. I was it September last year?
No, it was sooner than that. It was like January or February of
Oh,
this year, I
okay.
believe.
I mean, time moves so
Yeah, yeah,
fast; it's hard to judge sometimes. It's like,
yeah, definitely goes by super fast.
so yeah, just to make sure everyone here knows, if you have any questions, fire them into NFT chat, and I'll make sure that Mr. Krista gets a chance to respond. Um, So yeah, I mean, is there anything else like big that I've somehow failed to find anything out about?
No, I think your questions have been super on point. You've basically
No, no,
extracted
no!
all the.
Don't start giving me credit for this, you slick motherfucker.
No, man, you've basically extracted the whole project in an hour, which is impressive because I can because I can talk about this for days. I never shut up about it. So yeah, I think you kind of got everything, you know, and I think we
Well,
touched on basically the whole thing at this point.
apart from anything to do with the art, unfortunately, which I honestly I am a bit disappointed about. I'm not going to lie. I'm sure everyone else is. I'm going to fire up some sneak peeks from your Discord server for the YouTube crowd,
Oh yeah, please
so they
do.
get something. Where's your sneak peeks channel gone? There we go. Oh, he looks nice.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
if
the
you're
admiral,
if
is
you're
it admiral or like naval guy with the fox and the orangey background?
oh yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah, he looks like a Navy guy,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I I am not able to answer those specific questions about the art, but I would say if you're interested, if you're curious, come check out the sneak peeks. I think you will not be disappointed. The quality is through the roof. The traits are really fun and unique, and we have a lot of unique backgrounds and totally just kind of handmade, handcrafted stuff. And then the 3D assets that we put out, our token, it looks like nothing else. I'm genuinely so impressed with our shells token. It looks so beautiful. And then even the Galaxy Stone, which is one of those items that we you get from holding a profession. Those are incredibly beautiful as well. It's like a translucent stone with a little galaxy swirling inside of it, and that's 3D and animated as well. So trying to just give a little taste of what the future may bring in terms of the artwork that we'll be producing.
Oh, Spawner's made it back. Let's see if I
Hello,
can get him to
hello.
speak. Oh, there's
Oh, there he is.
Arahi. Hey!
Sorry, guys. I was in the bath, so I haven't been. I didn't know what was going on. I got some messages on the Discord saying that you guys needed me.
Yes, they have some questions about the art, my friend, in
Oh,
terms of
wonderful.
its resolution and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Well,
What do you want
that
to
was
know?
just the first question. I've got a whole string of them following up afterwards. Don't worry
Excellent,
about that.
excellent. Yeah, let's get them done. So what was the first
So
question?
yeah, what resolution are you shipping in?
So we're width and height 2000, and then we have a 72 PPI or DPI if you want to say DPI.
Oh, so yeah,
So it's quite
that's
yeah, it's
quite
quite a big
nicely.
one.
Yeah, yeah. But then it's not completely cumbersome and over wielding either.
Exactly, the files have to be quite small, so yeah,
Yeah,
only 72 DPI. But yeah, I think that's kind of bog standard for NFTs. Well, for good quality NFTs anyway.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a few that ship in 4K, but you know
Yeah,
it does take
yeah,
a
not as
while to
on
ship
this one.
them
Yeah, that
round.
would have been. Our file size was already about 18 gigabytes, so 4K would have been would have been a bit wild. It would have took me
Yeah.
a while to kind of download them all. Yeah, so we went with 72 PPI. Yeah, and 2000 by 2000. So it should look good when you shrink it down. And if you want to blow it up, it looks great as well.
So how many different traits are there?
In total, or kind of
I
per
mean,
trait
I was
category.
asking in total because obviously you don't want to give away too much stuff,
Yeah.
but
So in
I'll take either.
total, yeah, sorry, in total probably be about 100, and then we have well over 100 for sure, at least, and then we probably have about 4 or 5 categories of about 30 traits in each, and then we have smaller kind of subcategories as well with kind of a not as many, so kind of rarer traits in those categories.
Oh wow! So yeah, I mean, so how long have you been working on all the art? Because obviously, you know, it's
Yeah, it's
there's
been
you know there's a lot of very subtle details in there that you don't immediately pick up until you take a closer look, like with the way you have the shadows and things like that.
Oh yeah, Edwin's our 2D artist, and he's incredible. I've been working with Edwin for about 4 to 6 months at least, getting it all together. But yeah, he's amazing. What I do with him is I just give him kind of ideas or reference points, and then he just kind of goes away and creates the magic. I create the backgrounds, but I'm more of a kind of a graphic designer, so I don't have a talent for drawing or anything like that. But yeah, so Edwin makes the real magic, and I'm the hype guy or the backup guy, as you could imagine.
Well, I mean, it's incredibly useful for a project to have somebody, a second person capable of doing arty things, even if it's just making, you know, Twitter banners and, you know,
Ex-
memes
exactly.
and everything like that.
It's time saving, so then we don't have to go to Edwin with all the kind of small things that I
Yeah.
can kind of to get reel off myself. So yeah, it does come in handy. I'll have Chris kind of say to me, can we make this for today, and then I can just kind of whip it up together on Photoshop, or videos in like Premiere Pro or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask sort of like what program you used and sort of like what hardware you used, in fact, actually.
Hardware, yeah. So software is Photoshop, and then hardware is I've got desktop. If that's what you mean, with kind of a heavy load desktop, so it can withstand the loads, of Premiere Pro and things like that. So it's got a
Okay.
good graphics card and obviously a lot of RAM. But yeah, so
3090?
I don't. I wish I did. I have what do I have? I have a 3070, I think. Like
I
the
mean,
newer
that's not
version.
bad. That's really not
It's
bad.
not. Yeah, it's mid. It's not top end, but it's getting there. So it's quite good. It does a job, as I'm only just a kind of the graphic designer, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it kicks the crap out of my 970 anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah,
It's like I
I
got it
play a
thinking
few games on it.
I'll just get it. I'll just use this for like six because I built everything else.
Yeah,
And like I was gonna use this for 6 months until I could save up enough to get a better graphics card.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately, that was about 4 months before COVID.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah.
So yeah,
The,
it
or
just didn't
graphic
happen
cards
after
are.
that.
I think are they coming down again? Are the graphic cards price coming down again? I'm not too
They're
sure.
pretty close to retail.
Yeah.
I
Okay. That's not
think
too bad.
I was watching Linus Tech Tips the other night,
Yeah.
and there was a really big issue with Newegg issuing recalls on some 3090s that they've been selling for like that accidentally got sold for like $1,000
Oh.
below what they have been selling for. But at the
Okay.
same time, one of the other board manufacturers about a week later then reduced their recommended price by about 1,000, well, by like $800 or something.
Oh wow. Yeah. Because I
So
bought
they are
mine.
coming down now, especially with
Uh,
the 40 series coming out in what 6 months
yeah.
ish.
Oh, I haven't looked into that. To be fair, I've been in like a kind of a hibernation period with the project, so I haven't been able to kind of look at around at things like that. But yeah, it does a trick. I didn't build it myself, and I've always wanted to build my own PC, so that might be the next step for me in terms of hardware.
Yeah, I mean, do it. It's surprisingly simple and easy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's actually very difficult to break anything. It's very
yeah,
difficult to break anything.
yeah.
And if it
I've
doesn't
always had
look
that.
like it fits,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. I think I would watch a lot of videos and then kind of put it together. But yeah, it's something I wanted to do with my brother. He's a freelance artist as well, but he's kind of an art advisor on the set, but he's not really involved. But he does freelance art. I've always wanted to build a PC. We'll build our PCs together. So we may do that in the future. But that would be something to look forward to.
Ah, very nice. So how many different trait categories do you have?
I believe we have six, if I'm not mistaken. It should be around, six. And then we have the professions as well, which kind of count as a. They're not obviously they don't have any art
Yeah,
attached to them,
yeah.
but they're another trade category. So seven in total.
Okay. So, and can I assume that you'll be on cnfd.tools soon after Mint?
Oh, you definitely can. Yeah, we're in the process of doing that now, as as you probably well know. But yeah, we've got a few things to get that a few things to get over to you guys, and then we can get that kind of rolled out. But yeah, we always wanted to go with you as our kind of our official rarity scale. So yeah, we're looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, sort of like I can't take any credit for anything on the website really. That's all Legion of Rad and PRZ CNTN or however he wants to spell
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you guys
But
do
yeah,
great work.
they're absolute wizards, and obviously the other guys that we have on the team helping out and that do a lot of the listing work, like Miko and stuff. So yeah, they're
Yeah,
absolute wizards, and I'm quite privileged to work with them, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. No, it's probably the same with kind of relationship I have with our devs. Is they kind of do everything and just let them do their magic. But yeah, it was never an option. We always wanted to list with you guys. And I've always used your kind of listings to kind of find and snipe NFTs. So yeah, it's a joy to be on there as well with everyone else.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where I mean, obviously, I'm massively biased, but if a project isn't listing on CNFT tools, I'm usually wondering why, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely raised a few eyebrows. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I always go there. It's always the first one I'm looking at for a new project. If they list on there, then I know that they're quite serious about kind of their rarity.
That's the thing. I mean, it's we get enough hits where it's quite important for the secondary market sales, which obviously you guys are going to be quite well too aware that buyers need to be able to look for what they want, and
Yeah, exactly.
being able to provide that in a snappy manner with and reliable manner is very, very important in this space.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I hope I haven't kind of interrupted you and Chris's discussion as well.
No, honestly, if you'd come sort of like a minute or two later,
Yeah.
would have probably just about been saying goodbye. So
Oh, okay.
you,
Oh, that's
you
not
you
too
kind
bad.
of saved us at the death there.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Chris is amazing. So I didn't want to, take any of his time up. He's the best kind of guy to talk to about the project. So
I mean,
cool. But yeah, I'm always happy to answer art questions. That's my, that's my wheelhouse. So yeah.
so do you have any particularly favourite traits that you've done?
I do, yeah. It's funny because me, Chris, and Spooner all have different opinions on it. They love the samurai one, which I've seen it so many times that I actually kind of dislike now. I like the academics one. It's kind of a mage robe. It's quite rare as well, so you won't see it too much in the set. But those are my favorites for sure. I always like those kind of wizardy um, traits in projects.
Another D&D player?
I'm not, but I'm a big RPG player. So I grew up on like Elder Scrolls and things like that.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's always something I look forward to in sets to see if they've done some type of mage or wizard or yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. I was going to ask Mr. Sorry, I was going to ask Chris as well about sort of like his gaming habits, assuming he has any time whatsoever. And he's
Yeah.
gone to pot.
No,
Oh.
I'm back. um, yeah. So I am kind of the same. I grew up playing a lot of RPGs and games like that. I actually didn't get into like tabletop RPGs until I was a bit older, like out of my college years and stuff. But growing up, I played a lot of RPGs, a lot of like first person shooters stuff, and now I literally have like no time to play games. So I don't even. I actually recently quit like even the couple of mobile games that I would fire up once in a while. I just haven't fired them up in a long time. And now I just between the two kids, just normal life, normal work, and now this, which has been like a super fun, hustle for me. Yeah, and really no time to continue on with games, but I do play typically once a week. I do play like a tabletop RPG with some friends. We just, we all grew up together, and we just kind of play online for a few hours and call it good. It's just a bunch of good laughs and good stories. But that's about it for me now.
Yeah, I mean it's a similar case for all of us, especially we get into CNFTs and like everything else seems to melt away,
yeah, definitely.
It's
Same for
Yeah,
me.
especially
Yeah,
when you're doing a project.
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. I also just want to say really quickly that Aaron's opinion about the samurai is so wrong. It's not even funny.
See, I'm trying to find it in the sneak peeks now. There it
It's
Yeah,
is.
it's
it's our
pretty. It was.
Twitter profile as well picture. Sadly, it's been this whole time that I stay off Twitter just because it's there. So yeah.
No, I told him one day because that's the one that the most people in the community comment on that one pretty early on, and so I told him one day because he was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not, he's like, I know you guys love it, but, and I was like, you know what, it's gonna happen today, I'm doing it, and I changed the Twitter profile picture, and I think we had like a little little memorial service for the old PFP before we
Yeah.
put that one up.
Yeah, he forced me at one point. He said, "This is the people's favorites. This is what we're gonna have." So I kind of just
I'm
went
just
with it.
checking to see what we've got you as on the tools calendar. Oh
It's the
yeah,
same
yeah,
one.
we got
It's
that
the
one
same
as well.
one.
I thought it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
sadly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's the same one.
Just
So yeah, I'm glad that I won't be have to. We'll have a new one soon, I'm sure. So That'll be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Forward to it.
Because the trade off is we wanted to show a lot of the traits and the art early on because we wanted people to know the quality that was coming out. But now as we've gotten closer to mint, we've actually kind of taken the reverse approach. I think than most projects is we kind of front loaded our images, and now we've kind of dialed back and we've gone more into the story element because we want to hold back a lot of those traits so people can really be surprised tomorrow when they get a lot of these traits that they've never seen before.
You see, I'm saying tomorrow, but I'm noticing on the tools calendar, I've actually got it as the 23rd, which is Tuesday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. Because yeah. Sorry, I'm
I was
so
like, dude,
I'm
give
so
me a
used
heart
to doing
attack.
these things. It's still showing me Monday, and I was thinking like it was showing Tuesday, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, Jesus 2 tomorrow. Wait, where's the Otters?
Yeah.
Like no,
I'm glad
Jesus
you
2
got
was
on there.
today. It sold out. Like quite a fun looking project that one actually. I wish I'd discovered it before I did. Um,
Which project?
Jesus 2.
Oh, I haven't.
Um,
Oh, yeah. To be fair, I haven't had time to look into projects. It's really hard with
Yeah,
some of
it's
those.
kind of flown under the radar, but it's like a bunch of animators from like Cartoon Network and everything doing
Oh
stuff
wow.
that there's no way that the Cartoon Network would ever let them anywhere near.
yeah. One of my
Um,
friends is actually a mod for Jesus too, and yeah, they were throwing down some of the ones that they minted yesterday, and yeah, it's super unique art. It's super unique. It's so different than like anything I've ever seen really. But yeah, it's super cool stuff.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if I like I say, I would just wish I'd seen them earlier. But it's like, unfortunately, I can't be as much as I try to be everywhere. It's hard to be everywhere to get every single project that's coming along. So I do
Yeah.
appreciate it when people send me tips saying, "Oh, this project's minting next week, or this is minting in a couple of days. Get it on the calendar." Like, really appreciate that, everyone. So keep them DMs coming if there's a project that you like that's not listed on the tools calendar.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, I always need people to. Sponer's quite good with it. He's in so many discords that he can kind of drop us some alpha on upcoming drops usually. So we're lucky to have him with us.
Yeah, I mean I mean the space just moves so fast. It's so hard to keep up with it all. Like even when you're doing it as a full time job, it's still impossible to keep up.
For sure. Yeah, no, I agree.
So yeah, I mean I guess we're getting close towards rounding it up again. I've also got a lady that was probably expecting me about an hour ago because my AMAs usually start an hour before this one does.
Yeah.
So she's probably just thinking I'm ignoring her now, but
No
um,
problem, my friend. I think, like I said before, I think you basically extracted every detail there is to get. So yeah, I mean, we're just excited to mint tomorrow, and we hope you'll drop by in the morning and say hi while we're minting. We'll see what kind of otters people are getting. It's going to be a super fun time.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
I
seen the
mean
whole
I'm
set.
going to be fiat grinding, but I should just about be free about half an hour before the mint, before the public mint. So I think I might
Hope to
just be
see
able
you
to
there.
squeeze in there.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I've seen the whole set, and it's maybe tooting my own horn, but it's a gorgeous set. They all look amazing, so I can't wait for everyone to kind of get their otters. I'm stoked to see everyone's reactions, and shout out to everyone who's kind of joined here and listened in the audience. I see some of the otters from our discords. I see Sin, I see Grimmy and ZMAC and Fiend, and everyone. Yeah, thanks for stopping by and listening in.
Yeah, I mean you guys are a sterling audience. Oh, Spanners want to come up, I think. Unless that's just an old invite. So, oh no, there he is. Oh, he did.
Hello,
How you
Hello
doing?
there.
I'm good. I'm
Let's
just
go.
listening. I'm not a big person.
Well, it was good to have you here, and you made it through 90 minutes of us waffling on. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah,
I
thanks for
was
having
listening
us.
to
It's
it.
a pleasure to come on. Sorry, Sreda.
It's an amazing AMA, I will say.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you very much for that. This has been recorded and it'll be uploaded to YouTube in the fairly near future. I'll try and get it up for tomorrow. But yeah, I've got some other bits I've got to get it done first. But hopefully I'll be able to get this uploaded in time for before your mint tomorrow. And I'll make sure I get a link over to you guys as soon as. If you're somebody that's watching this back on YouTube because you couldn't make it live, feel free to give it a like and a share. Feel free to subscribe and all that goodness, but make sure the video ends up under the eyes of the people that need to see it. You know, sort of like your friends, your family, those people that you want to show how fun NFTs can be. This is the video to show them. So yeah, I really want to give a big thank you to the Space Otter Society for turning up, like absolute awesome team, and a big thank you to the audience as well for sticking with us through all this, and we look forward to seeing you all at the mint tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
All right. Thanks, Tool, and thanks everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.